I'm Ralph Becker. I'm the mayor of Salt Lake, and obviously appreciate being here to announce an effort that we're doing. I have with me Natalie Gochner, who you'll be hearing from, Jason Mathis, who all of you know, I think, is the head of the Downtown Alliance, Steve Labrum, who's on our Small Business Advisory Committee and a business owner in town here. I want to put this discussion and announcement in a bit of context today. We all know and appreciate, I certainly do every day, that Salt Lake City is a great place to live. And being a livable city, which is the theme for really so much of the work that I've been doing in my administration, of course, means different things to different people. But as mayor, for me, what this means in my role is that we want to be one of the greenest, most accessible, most inclusive, and most prosperous municipalities in the country. And so whether we're talking about our residents, whether we're talking about city employees or civic advocates, whether we're talking about neighborhoods, business owners and organizations, and really across the spectrum of our community, the approach that I have taken and that I think we attempt to embody in the city is that we include people and we work collaboratively and together to try to achieve the best results we can. We have our role as city government. We appreciate our partners who are here to speak to some of the things that they do from their perspectives and how this ties in with achieving our goal as a great American city. So again, in context, historically, when I came into office in 2007, we were facing the greatest recession in history, the greatest downturn in the economy since the Great Depression. We're very fortunate that since that time, things have turned around, but any of us who can remember that time, and it's easy maybe to put some tough memories behind us, realize that in 2007, 2008, there was this huge uncertainty about where the bottom was going to be in our economy, and almost to a point of, not just people's jobs and individual businesses, but was our economy just going to completely tank? And we, fortunately, have rebounded from that time, and it's reflected in a number of ways in this city. We certainly, in terms of our economy, are doing relatively well, really quite well. So last year, for example, we issued the highest number of building permits that have been issued since the recession began. And maybe even more impressively, if we look at that in terms of dollar values, the valuation of building permits that we issued in 2014 was more than the dollar value of the 3 previous years combined. So we are on this incredible upsurge of economic activity in our city. And that, of course, is really, I think, for any of us, we look at as an ingredient and a really prime ingredient on how healthy our city is and how healthy people are in terms of their prosperity. And that's not to say that there aren't people still in our community who are suffering and who we need to attend to in a number of ways and provide support for. But today, I'm really pleased to announce an effort for us to take a new look at how we're doing as a city in our economic development efforts called EnterpriseSLC. It's an effort for us to gather input, to look at our data, to design new tools, and to adjust as needed the way we approach economic development in this city, both for our local businesses to be successful, but also in terms of attracting new businesses. And it's easy when we're in a relatively prosperous time for us to simply say and think and believe that, hey, things are growing great, so we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. But the reason I think we have been successful in this community, and a reason I think we need to always be looking at how we can improve what we're doing, is because we have been innovative. We've been relatively nimble. And we've adapted to exciting new opportunities for businesses in our community. And whether it's revolving loan programs or whether it's providing ombuds help to folks when they have to deal with the city and others to get permits, or whether it's establishing local districts or working directly with businesses that may have an interest in coming to Salt Lake. Those are things that we've done and adjusted and adapted sometimes more than once since I've been in office. But we think now is an opportunity, in part because of the leadership in our community and economic development arenas, that now is a real opportunity for us to say, all right, we're in this new era. How do we best take advantage of the incredible assets we have in this community, whether it's innovation and spin-offs coming out of the University of Utah, whether it's this great new generation of entrepreneurs in our community, or whether it's looking at the assets we have naturally and that really represent our physical assets to take best advantage of who we are as a city. So I'm really pleased, of course, that we're doing this, but I'm especially pleased that a longtime friend and colleague of mine, who's one of the brightest minds, I was going to say the brightest mind, really in our community around the economy of our state, around the economy of our community, and understanding what works and doesn't work, is really leading this effort for us, and that's Natalie Gochner. So you're going to hear from Natalie, then you'll be hearing from Jason Mathis, and then from Steve Labrum.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Great to be with you today. I'm pleased to be a part of the EnterpriseSLC endeavor here at the city. I'm an associate dean at the David Eccles School of Business, and it is our job as a state school to serve the community, and we are delighted to offer services to Salt Lake City to help better understand what this city can do to have a more prosperous future. EnterpriseSLC has a single purpose, and that is to deliver to Salt Lake City in the next 90 days a vision and the purposeful steps that need to occur for that vision to happen for this city's economy. And it begins with a lot of listening. And so I will be spending time with city staff, meeting with business leaders, small business owners, community leaders, to understand what are the strengths in Salt Lake City's economic development, what are some of the challenges, and what can we do as a community to unify behind a common vision and build upon the promise of this city, the economic promise of this city. I'm a lifelong Salt Laker. I'm a true believer when it comes to Salt Lake City. I'm a partisan when it comes to how incredible this city is. Going into this project, we have identified several what we think of as pillars of economic development promise for the city. We're going to test some of those and consider what they might mean for the city. These are things like our potential as a crossroads, a transportation hub, our potential as an outdoor recreation center, our potential as a city of learning and with a great university right in our city, a community college here, private universities. We're also going to consider what could happen as our partnership with the LDS Church as a world religion and a headquarters here. So we're going to go look at a lot of these potentials, tech sector, and consider what is the proper vision for this city, and then what kind of steps do we take to make it happen. This will happen over the next 90 days as we interact with people, listen, learn, and I will be delivering to the City Council and the Mayor a report that has our findings and our recommendations and the steps that we think the city should be taking. So with that is EnterpriseSLC. I'm going to now introduce Jason Mathis, who will represent the Salt Lake Chamber in this endeavor. Jason?
Thanks, Natalie. My name's Jason Mathis. As the mayor said, I'm the executive director of the Downtown Alliance. I'm also the executive vice president of the Salt Lake Chamber, so I have a focus, a sort of micro focus on downtown, but also a statewide perspective on the business community. I think that EnterpriseSLC really represents a hallmark of Mayor Becker's leadership, and that is collaboration, thoughtfulness, and a willingness to change course and look at a longer-term vision for the future of our capital city. As Natalie mentioned, this is going to be a partnership between the business community, between the David Eccles School of Business, and between Salt Lake City's economic development team. And I'm absolutely confident that long-term we will come up with a vision that will guide the city for the next decade and perhaps after that. This is a really important undertaking. It's exactly the right time to be doing this. I think it speaks very highly to Mayor Becker's leadership and his decision to execute this at this time and make this decision. I'm going to actually take Mayor Becker's statement a step further. I was tempted today to say that Natalie Gochner is the smartest woman that I know, but that implies that there might be a man out there who is smarter, and that is not the case. Natalie is without a doubt the smartest person that I've ever known, and her ability to synthesize complex economic data, to understand local dynamics, national trends, international trends, and then to come up with a compelling and thoughtful narrative about how those things will impact us and create a vision for the future is unparalleled. And I am so delighted by her leadership in putting this together. She is one of the bright stars in our community, certainly in the business world, and her ability to bring together academia, the business community, and city leadership is going to really be, I think, what sets this vision apart from previous visions or other things that other communities may be doing. So on behalf of the Salt Lake Chamber and the Downtown Alliance, we just want to applaud this effort. We think it's the right thing to do. We think that the synergy that will result from this will help to propel Utah's capital city well into the next decade, and we are delighted to help support this effort. Thank you.
I'm Stephen Labrum. I'm the Vice Chair of the Salt Lake City Business Advisory Board. I'm also a small business owner with 80 employees, and my family and I are proud downtown residents of Salt Lake City. So we truly live, play, and work here. And so as you can imagine, the results of this effort are really important to me personally. I want this to be successful. And I applaud the mayor for putting forth this effort to include the business community. It's really a visionary opportunity for the business community to have an opportunity to be involved and to give a voice to what our needs are and what we hope will come out of this process so that we can see continued economic development policy that makes sense, that's fair, and that's effective. Because we do have limited resources and limited capital to spend, and we really want that to be spent well. So Mayor, I applaud you for this effort. I'm looking forward to being involved, and I really hope that it's successful. Thank you.
Thank you all for both your comments, for the work that you're doing, and the work that's ahead of us. You know, in my job, I am continually hearing from people about things they like or things they don't like. We will particularly hear those, of course, and ideas they have for the future. But to be able to bring the incredible talents and abilities that Natalie brings to this in some real listening sessions that are very focused and I'd say more analytical than I would bring to the table. I think it's going to benefit all of us. Our Small Business Advisory Board, which is working continually, I think, on evaluating what we're doing and how we can improve what we're doing, as you know, for the most part, I think if not everyone is a small business owner, I think really helps us, and this is going to kind of broaden, I think, all of our awareness about how we can be successful. So with that, I'll just stop here. I don't know if we have any questions. We're happy to just kind of end this here and look forward to people following this and providing us with input. That's going to be the key. So Natalie Gochner is going to be interviewing people, but beyond that, I think if there are ideas that people want to bring into this process, we'll be happy to pass those along and help filter those for Natalie's work as well. So thank you all for being here. We look forward to the next 90 days and for Enterprise Salt Lake to lead us into the next generation of opportunities.